it scared the absolute shit out of us. And we were like, dude, this is ridiculous. Why are we even doing it? But at the end of the night, everybody threw down, and it was just the crowd was going, and every jump was bigger than we had ever seen. Nothing like that had ever been done before. I was always that kid that, like, oh no, Travis will do it. I grew up around a lot of motocross racers, a lot of BMX riders, and I was always I was the runt of my family. So the only way to keep up was basically with a motor or to jump off the highest things. So my dad is a Marine. So he was actually a drill sergeant in the Marine Corps. So whatever you say you're gonna do, no matter how stupid, you better kind of back it up. So our family didn't talk a lot. They just kind of went out there and did it. When I come in from a race, I couldn't ever say how I did. Like they're like, if you're not asked, don't tell. If someone says, how'd you do? I'd be like, I got 5th. You couldn't explain on it. If you led every lap and crashed on the end, you couldn't talk about it until you were asked. So that was kind of like, it was really interesting because my whole life I was kind of groomed to be a racer, but I always liked jumping. So I would go the slowest way around the racetrack just to hit the biggest jump. From my dad, he was always so confused. He's like, you didn't have to do that jump, and you know, you blew up your front tire like you crashed. I was like, yeah, but wasn't it cool? He's like, I don't understand you at all. But at the end of the day, both of my parents always encouraged me. They're like, look, you're not gonna retire on athletics. You're gonna end up probably in the military or work in construction with us. So like, just as long as you're having fun, you're passionate about it, you're staying out of trouble. And trouble is different. Like base jumping off buildings was okay in my family, but like smoking weed was like the you'd be like banned for forever. So it was, you know, East Coast mentality is a little different than kind of your action sports culture for sure. You know, motocross is an innately dangerous sport. And same freestyle motocross, I mean, anything that's fun comes with its risks. But for me, I was hurt more than pretty much anybody. And like at 14, I went outside the stadium, came through as fast as I could go, didn't make the jump. It was like 120 feet. I made like 115 feet, landed, and just passed out. Bled 2/3 my blood volume, you know, over the next day and a half. Every time I woke up, I'd pass out until they got me basically drilled back together. And my mom's like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Didn't you learn from that? And as much as we try to take the risk factor down and make it safer, and that is why these sports continue to grow and continue to succeed, because most people sitting on that couch at home and go, that's crazy. Like, I would never do that. It's like watching a train crash. You don't want to see it, you don't want to watch it, but you can't take your eyes away from it. And I feel like that's where freestyle motocross kind of took action sports. I feel like in 2006, when I did the first double backflip, it was one moment as an athlete that it wasn't just me or my friends that understood it. It wasn't just that inner circle. Like, I have so many people, like on the way home, there was literally, you know, a 75-year-old black woman came up and was like, you're that boy that did that double flip. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, this was, for the first time, the whole world really understood what I felt. It was an awesome moment for me to kind of, all right, I'm satisfied with that. Let's try to race four wheels. NASCAR wasn't a good fit for me because no one was afraid. If you drove harder, the car would slide more. You just wear out your tires faster. So we qualified pretty well. I mean, I got a pole, I got 2 seconds and a third in like qualifying, but we never finished inside the top 5. Cold trickled tires, blow the tires out, just wanted to run every lap like it was your last lap, like you do in motocross. NASCAR was that thinking man's game, which I always kind of liked, but at the end of the day, it was talk to the crew chief, figure out what you need, understand the car. I was never good at working on cars. I didn't really know. I'm like, yeah, it feels a little tight, like I'll ride it. My bikes were always bent, broken. I didn't care. I just rode them. My dad's like, man, you get good starts at the beginning of the year, not the end of the year. I never thought about changing the tire. You know, it's just like kind of the mentality of country. Just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So NASCAR wasn't my thing. I don't know. I just love excitement, man. You put me out there and everyone's like, oh, think about the championship. I'm like, what? I want to win this race. And I always had such a hard time with that until I got in rally where you have a co-driver. And he's like, look, I got a wife and kids too. Slow the fuck down. you kind of analyze the risk and you say, I'm not going to stop living. I'm not going to stop being the person that I am because I'm afraid. I feel like at that point, then you stop being who you are.